The dawn light reflected a pale, cold glow on the snow. Haley sat by the window, watching the police cars and press vans, still waiting at the intersection. The aftermath of yesterday's press conference hadn't yet subsided, but her resolve, having proactively faced it, was stronger than before. She knew this was far from over. Alexander got up early and sat at the evening table, talking to his lawyer on the phone about the new policy investigation and the follow-up response. Haley walked over and gently shook his hand. "Don't worry too much," she said softly. "We're much stronger than we were a week ago." Alexander nodded at her, his eyes wary yet relieved. As soon as he hung up, Eric whispered, "A suspicious vehicle was spotted outside, and it twice attempted to follow our security guards. A private investigator also broke into the backyard last night and was driven away. Everyone be alert and don't let any strangers get close." Alexander gave the order. He, nurtured, would never give up easily. After breakfast, a new round of revelations broke out on social media. Richard sighed suddenly. An anonymous liar released several seemingly iron documents, insinuating that Haley and Alexander had a hidden connection to the nightclub disappearances years ago, and even indirectly caused the disappearances of certain key figures. The headlines instantly shifted. The woman speaking out, the truth behind the scandal revealed, nightclub scandal resurfaces, past grudges revealed. Netizens were instantly divided, with some supporting Haley's bravery and others making malicious speculations and attacks. Some even dug up Haley's family, education, and work history, mixing all kinds of fake news with malicious comments, leaving her feeling overwhelmed. The cafe owner had no choice but to call again to comfort her. "Haley, do you want to take a few more days off? There are rumors all over the media and the internet about you." "Thank you, boss. I won't come to the store for a while." Haley's voice was hoarse, but she was more determined than ever. Things weren't peaceful at the villa there. Linda received a threatening phone call in the kitchen, the content of which was vulgar and vicious. The security guard found anonymous letters and secretly taken photos outside the fence. Eric had all the doors and windows reinforced and panic buttons installed in every room. At lunch, the atmosphere was tense. Alexander tried to remain calm, but deep down, he was furious. Richard is using all this to force us to surrender. He's going to keep stirring up rumors and fear until we break. "Why does he hate you so much?" Haley asked. "After our failed collaboration years ago, he's been trying to make me surrender. He can't control me, so he wants to destroy me." Alexander gritted his teeth. "But I won't let him succeed." That evening, the police came again, this time with a subpoena. Haley was required to cooperate with the investigation and attend a closed-door interview organized by the police and her lawyer. Alexander accompanied her into the police station. The interrogation room was brightly lit, but the atmosphere was extremely oppressive. 3 officers took turns asking questions, touching upon all the sensitive aspects of the nightclub disappearance case. "When was the last time you saw the missing waitress? Did she tell you anything unusual? Have you heard anything about Mar Volkov or Richard's secret dealings with the club's top brass?" Haley tried to remain calm. She answered the questions truthfully, answering every question. She didn't shy away from her first, but she also refused to passively admit to any false accusations. The interrogation lasted nearly 4 hours. As she left the police station, she felt drained of all her strength. Alexander met her at the door and held her in his arms. "You're very brave. Now, we can only trust the truth to speak for itself." "But what if the truth is drowned out?" she asked hoarsely. "Then let's continue fighting." Alexander's tone was more resolute than before. Meanwhile, Richard convened an emergency meeting in his luxurious office. He surveyed the news his staff had brought in, and the online buzz, grinning grimly. "Keep leaking the information, hire some influencers, by trending searches, and make sure everyone only sees dire evidence." "But the police are also investigating the nightclub's past accounts," the assistant reminded hesitantly. "Then let's confuse the evidence. Noon can get away with it easily." Richard's eyes flashed fiercely. "Don't forget, this world will never win by relying on the truth." At night, alarms blared inside and outside the villa. Someone tried to break in by scaling the wall, but was quickly subdued by security. Haley woke up in shock, and Alexander immediately ran to her room and held her in his arms. "Don't be afraid, we will get through this," he whispered soothingly. "You are not alone." "I'm not afraid anymore," Haley smiled. "I've come this far, and no matter how big the storm is, I'm going to keep going." The next day, Alexander's legal team compiled a detailed rebuttal statement, debunking Richard's evidence 1by1, and submitted it to the police and the media. Meanwhile, based on old letters submitted by Haley and financial records from the nightclub, the police identified several high-ranking figures in connection with the disappearance. The news trend began to quietly change. Richard manipulates public opinion. The nightclub case has reached a major turning point, the female protagonist responded frankly, and the police identified a new suspect. But the enemy's counterattack didn't stop. Haley's social media accounts were once again maliciously attacked, and her friends and family continued to receive harassing calls. She and Alexander could only protect each other more closely, but they also knew Fath's real climax was yet to come. Late at night, Haley and Alexander sat together by the window, looking at city lights in the snowy night. That held hands quietly, thinking about the next step in their hearts. Richard will not give up, Alexander whispered, but no matter how hard he fights, we cannot retreat. We are no longer Theon's being protected. Haley looked at him firmly. Now, we fight side by side. The wind and snow outside the window grew heavier, and it seemed as if countless pairs of eyes were peering into the darkness. But at this moment, they all understood that only by moving forward side by side could they truly welcome their own morning.
Please stay tuned for the next episode.
See you there.